Call the meeting to order. It is 6:06. Attendance has been noted. And as usual, we'll just review our ground rules, which is what we always do. We're respectful to one another. We listen and we keep it moving. So we're going to start with our old business. And I have on the agenda for old business our Kwanzaa celebration. So we just want to remind everyone that about the Kwanzaa celebration, which will be held December 26th at 5 p.m. Everyone have that noted already? You good with that one? Okay. Next on our agenda, we actually have Three Kings Day. Who wants to take the lead on the Three Kings Day? Was there an announcement that you wanted to make? Alder Crespo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to announce that there was an event that was mentioned for Three Kings Day in collaboration with PRU, Puerto Ricans United. I'm not sure if we wanted to contribute or see if we collaborate with them, but there was an event that was going to happen on, and I'll tell you the date right now. It is Three Kings Day at Casa Otoñal, Saturday, January 8th, 2022, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is at Sylvan Avenue. They're partnering with New Haven Hispanic Firefighters Association, Casa Otoñal, and they were gonna put an event together. And I don't know if we should be part of it or at least collaborate with them, or we can do an event separate altogether.
Okay. All right, I will note that.
And I will send you the flyer as well as Al, so they can distribute to the colleagues.
Thank you, Alder Crespo. I recognize Alder Jeanette Morrison.
Yes, and so in regards to the Three Kings Day event, is that something that we're going to put to a vote tonight? I would think that we would have to, because Three Kings Day will happen before our next meeting. And so since we did have our gala, there's a couple of votes that we're going to have, right? One of the votes would be, are we going to start giving money out again? That's one. And if that is the case, then in regards to the possible collaboration with PR1, I think, Puerto Ricans United, that is money also. So those two kind of go hand in hand. And if we're going to do it, we definitely have to put that to a vote for tonight. And just my added, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. I think we've gone into collaboration. Well, we've always supported, this is the senior home that's right there on the end of Davenport or right there, right? Because that's the place that we always, for the last 10 years, I know, we've always gone to. So, and if other people, two other groups are putting in, and then we put in, it's a third. We don't have as much money as, we've had in the past. So that would be a big help. So that's where I am with the whole Three Kings Day.
Madam Chair,
thank you, Alder Morrison.
If I may respond to the Madam President Pro Tem.
Yes.
I wanted to add, I neglected to add that based on the increase in not just the coronavirus, but the strand that's happening, I believe it went up 5%, 8%. They were reconsidering postponing it. So I don't think it's a set in stone date. I think today they were having conversations to move it either to a later date, given that there has been in this, particularly in the city of New Haven, and in the area of Fairhaven, we are now categorized at a red zone with the, I believe it's an 8%. And so some of the events are being canceled or being told that they can no longer happen. So if we vote, it may be just a vote for a future Three Kings Day.
Thank you, Alder Crespo. So it seems to me that one of the courses we may want to take is just collect this information, get in contact with the sponsors. And even if we have to do an offline, off-site vote, which we have had to do in the past, we may be able to collaborate that way. I recognize Alder Evelyn Rodriguez.
Thank you. Yes, on the Casa Colonial Three Kings Day, the alders have the Black and Hispanic Caucus has supported it, and often we have also participated. We've been present in the event. So I just want to let you know that that's in Alder Hertz Ward. And also we have through for the Three Kings Day, the Star of Jacob Church, they hold the event also. I cannot give you a date at this time, but we've been supportive to them too.
Thank you, Alder Rodriguez. So it seems like we definitely need to contact the event sponsors for this, see what's going to happen and move on from there. So do not be surprised if we don't have a follow-up. I'll alert everyone, or the chair will, and we'll get the ball rolling so we can make decisions on that. Thank you. Anyone else? Alder Morrison.
If we do do a vote tonight to give money to support the Three Kings Day, one of the things I would like to propose is that we be able to donate something to both events, since those are two places that we've always done something with. And so I just wanted to put that out there too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me pull my agenda back up. One moment, I got too many screens here. Okay, so we covered Three Kings for now. Next up, okay. We would like to cover our Board of Alders agenda. Madam President, will you handle that for us?
Yes, thank you. So on our agenda, of course, is our tax collector. We know that's under unanimous consent. That's what we deal with. Under our second readings, we have some automatic affair appointments, and we have some leave to withdrawals as well. Community service, we're naming a couple of streets, making them residential parking zones. They also have some leave to withdraw. We have community development. People can read up on it. It's about the Pulaski Street and approving that. If you did not go to committee, you can contact the chair. Tax abatement, regular tax abatement like we normally do. Joint community development and tax abatement. The Glendower group was there. It was a very robust conversation in that committee meeting. Finance, we skipped over a couple of things in our last meeting that will be on the agenda. We have the Department of Vital Statistics trying to change their processing clerk to bilingual register in that department. We also have to deal with, and I don't see it up here, but it will be up here at some point. It's going to be another continuation grant from the health department. We got a motion to amend, and we also have the items that will be coming out of committee, like we do at the end of the year. Some committees they contact the makers of certain items to see whether, they're still interested in it or if it could be given a leave to withdraw. So stay tuned. You might see some of that before the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I couldn't find my unmute. Okay, so next up on our agenda, we're going to discuss the NAACP Million Jobs Campaign. That is next up on our agenda.
Madam Chair, well, I don't know who's supposed to talk about that, but I do know when we had that meeting, when Scott X came to the meeting to talk about.
He's here tonight.
He is here tonight? Oh, good. Because I was about to say, I ain't never talked to Scott yet. And I know Alder Furlow had said that we were going to be looking at some type of collaboration and training is my thing. But I'm going to reach out to Scott. So I'm glad that he's here to
Definitely.
give us whatever information he's going to give us. So thank you, Scott.
No problem. So I would like to introduce Mr. Scott X. Esdale. He's coming in and he's just going to speak to us about the NAACP Million Jobs Campaign. Thank you for coming tonight.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to have some dialogue with you guys about the Million Jobs Campaign for the formerly incarcerated. You're absolutely right. You have not heard from us yet. We wanted to have the second dialogue and conversation pertaining to this before we actually reached out to you. We're going to our plans are to sit down and have a conversation with each alderman and woman in the city. We know it's not a cookie cutter situation. Every community has its own dynamics. So we'll give a call. Our outreach workers will give you a call. Al's gonna share your information with us. And Corey Betts and Carly Knox are the two individuals that will be giving you a call. We shared some information with you all at the last Alderman meeting when we were actually at the actual city hall. And this is a virtual meeting. So I wanted to know if Al could actually share the actual report where you guys could look at it now. Did everyone get the email with the actual report? If not, we can get it over to you.
We got the hard copy.
You got the hard copy. Hopefully you can get it electronically also, so you could share it with your people. But the bottom line is that we're going to be running this just like a political campaign. And you guys know how to run political campaigns, and you've been successful at that also. We're going to be putting marketing material all over the city. You might even start to see the signs. We're going to be having radio ads, television ads. We're going to be marketing on social media. Al, is there a way that we could share on the screen? Okay, if we can start from the top. But these are the marketing materials that you all will see and you will also receive. You will tell our people where you want to market in your neighborhoods and your communities. What are the hot spots? Individuals that you know that may be looking for a job or looking for an opportunity. You let our outreach workers know, and they will contact these individuals. If you keep going down, these are the signs and the posters that we'll be putting up, bumper stickers, lawn signs, and we'll be putting them up in the stores and the laundromats, on the hot spots in your community where you know the young brothers and sisters are looking for opportunity, in the schools and the recreation centers. Wherever you want us to have this material, we will put the material up. If you could keep going. We have TV commercials, we have commercials for social media, advertising, the different opportunities, there's PSAs. If we can keep going. These are the different television stations and radio stations that we partnered with for communications to get the word out. We can keep going. Once again, everything is documented. We have software done by Viochi. I know that they do a lot of city work also. So everything will be documented. If there's individuals that you recommended, and we called them several times and they're not picking up the phone and we need to go to their house or whatever, we'll let you know that information, and it's all been documented of those individuals that have gotten interviews, that are getting training and everything. You'll be able to see the reports that will be transparent to you. This is the 1-800 number that individuals call, and they'll go straight to our outreach workers, and they will communicate and dialogue and have conversation with individuals that are looking to get a job in the greater New Haven area. Keep moving. This is the staff that we have, the team that we have. And I'm the president. This is our grant writer, Caprice Mendez. Fred Hodges, the program navigator, he's supervisor. Baba Jade Davis, he just actually left. He's going to be a teacher, but we've brought on Corey Betts, and also we have Carly Knox. Moving on. We can keep going down. So the two outreach workers in the area will be Corey Betts and Carly Knox for the area. The jobs are at Yale New Haven Hospital, which you all are familiar with. Keep going, because I don't want to take too much of your time. You can go up on the website and look at a lot of this information. Keep going. Keep going down. These are, no, I'm sorry, go up some more. These are the community-based organizations that we partner with. Community-based organizations. Keep going down. There we go. These are the community-based organizations. Oh, you kept going too far. Keep right there. Page 11. These are the community-based organizations in New Haven that are doing the actual training. So what happens is when the individual calls, they call us, they go up on the website, they give us all of their information, and then we guide them to one of these community-based organizations that are in New Haven. They'll get all the training that they need, and then once they get all the training and we get a stamp of approval from one of these agencies, then they get prepared to go before Yale New Haven Hospital to actually do an interview. So these are the agencies that we partnered with in the greater New Haven area that do the actual training. The NAACP doesn't do the training, the agencies actually do the training. Keep going. We handle the marketing and the advertisement. These are the agencies that we partnered with in other cities. After we leave New Haven, then we go to Hartford, we go to Bridgeport, we go to Waterbury, and then we go on to New London. Keep going down. These are the jobs at Yale Hospital that they've put to the side. Patient transport, food nutrition, cooks, business associates, environmental services, lab assistants, laboratory techs, coders, coder outpatient, LPN, RN, skilled maintenance, patient care techs. And if they don't have that training, these institutions will help with the training. Once again, this is a brother or a sister or anybody from the community that's looking for opportunity. These are the different agencies. They'll do an assessment on them. After they do the assessment and they get vetted, and we do the assessment, the person will get the training. After they get the training, they'll do a pre-screening to get ready for the interview. Once they're ready, as you see, they got the shirt and tie on, or they're dressed up, got the hair all done up. We have beauty parlors and barbershops that are working with us, and we get them prepared for the interview, and then they go on the interview and get prepared for getting hired at Yale New Haven Hospital. Keep going. These are the first 100 individuals. This report is upgraded now, but the first 100 people at that particular time when we met before, 10 were hired, 7 were denied, 33 at that particular time were in the interview process, and 50 were actually getting the job training at that particular time. Those numbers have changed, and we'll be giving you an updated report at the end of December. Keep moving on. This is the financial impact. If we were able to get 150 people jobs at 30K, that would be $4.5 million coming back into the community. If we were to get 250 jobs at 30K, that would bring 7.5 million back to the community. If we were to get 500 jobs, which is that they have set aside 500 jobs now, at 30K, we'll bring 15 million back to the community. And hopefully over 5 years, we can get up to about 1,000 jobs. They have 10,000 jobs at Yale New Haven Hospital. Hopefully over a 5-year period, we can get 1,000 people in there, which will bring 30 million. And as you know, as people get jobs, they're more reluctant to get involved in violence and look to get more education so they can get higher paying jobs. Let's keep moving on. We are now in negotiations with the Department of Economic and Community Development. That's Commissioner Lehman right there and Senator Doug McCory from Hartford, along with Gwendolyn Thames, the new president of the New Haven Chamber of Commerce, Howard K. Hill, and we're striving to negotiate a deal with the state to help us to bring more employees on for the Million Jobs campaign, to bring more companies and corporations on board. So we can not only have jobs at Yale New Haven Hospital, we'll be doing it more companies and corporations throughout the greater New Haven area. Moving on. We've also partnered with Reform, with Jay-Z and Meek Mills. They are working on people on probation and parole and getting more assistance to individuals that are on probation and parole. And as you all know, you can't get off of probation and parole without a job. So it's natural for them to partner with the Million Jobs campaign. And we're gonna not only do this in Connecticut, we'll end up doing this across the nation, but this is the pilot project and it's starting in New Haven, Connecticut. Moving on. We've also signed an agreement not only with Yale New Haven Hospital, we signed an agreement with Connecticut Hospital Association with all 27 hospitals across the state of Connecticut. So we'll be broadening this effort to the 27 hospitals across the state of Connecticut. And that was the day that we signed the agreement with Connecticut Hospital Association. We just added on 2 new sponsors, Foxwood Resort and Casino, and also Social Venture Partners. These are the other sponsors that we have on board: Yale New Haven Hospital, a Community Foundation of Greater New Haven, CVS Health, Hartford Foundation, William Graustein Memorial Fund, Laz Parking, Lyft, Uber, KeyBank, Community Foundation of Eastern Connecticut, and Cummins and Lockwood. Once again, if you guys have any questions, I don't want to hold you up too long, but the bottom line, where the rubber hits the road, is where our outreach workers give you a call. We set up a meeting and we put a roadmap of how we're going to market and advertise in your community. If you have volunteers, any people that are looking to help out, the churches, you know, everyone, we want everyone to be a part of this and giving people a respectable and a meaningful second chance in the greater New Haven area. And once again, this is the pilot for the nation.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Mr.
your time.
Esdell. I'll open up for questions in a second. But before I do so, I just have one quick question.
Sure.
If we know of a corporation that may want to get more information on it, who do we have them contact? Or is there like a cheat sheet?
That's the 1-800 number. You talk to the community outreach workers. They'll set up a meeting with me and whoever, or you could call me directly. I'll give you my cell phone number.
Okay.
Or I can have Al send it to you, but my cell phone number, if you want to write it down, 203-668-4562. Once again, my cell phone number is 203-668-4562.
Thank you. And I just, you know, thank you.
And I'd love to sit down and talk to anyone that wants to help out.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was my question. Do we have questions from any other? I see Alder Morrison, you're on deck next. Take it away, Alder Morrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Morgan State University.
What'd you say?
I said Morgan State University.
All day. There, you brought me back. Okay. So I just wanted to know, so I hear you saying, Scott, that you're gonna call each one of the alders in regards to seeing how, you know, this program can support each ward. But my question is, what is it, or if anything, collectively as the Black and Hispanic Caucus, can we do to help this? When you came and gave us the briefing at the last board meeting, one of the things that our majority leader said was, you know, something around training or anything like that. And so that, you know, is always a red flag for me, because that's what I do on the board. I'd set up trainings. So is there anything that from a collective perspective that we can do as a Black and Hispanic Caucus, or is it a better use of time?
It's really just a referral system, right? So it's not like you're going to be training people to do jobs. The agencies do that, right? So we're letting everybody do what they do, right? You guys are politicians, you're community activists, you're some of you all are even civil rights activists. You're a lot of different, you're business people, you're in different lanes, you have your own networks, you have tons of relationships. So it's all about recommendations. It's a feeder system. And you put individuals in the system, we get them trained and we get them to the job.
Okay.
Right. So we just want we want to market and get as many individuals. So I'm also going to be hiring Jim Farnham to help the feeder system, right? So if you look at the numbers, right? In 1986, there was 6,000 individuals incarcerated across the state of Connecticut. This is very important that you all know. All right. And then it went up to like through mass incarceration and through the war on drugs, it went up to 24,000 people incarcerated across the state of Connecticut. So pretty much about close to 50% to 60% of the city of New Haven has a blemish on their record in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I would say maybe up to 65%. Even if they've never been to jail or nothing, they might have a blemish on their record where they might have got arrested, they might have got caught with a bag of weed, whatever happened during their lifetime. They can't become a fireman, they can't become a police officer just because they got arrested. They might not have been convicted, but they have somewhat of a blemish on their record, right? So if there's somebody that has some type of blemish on their record, we want to work with them, all right? Because we know that if they don't have an opportunity, that's bad for the city. Right? All they could do is get into some type of trouble, right? So we're trying to eliminate excuses and get individuals to get away from the bad stuff and get them in a network of nothing but good. So, and that's what you all are striving to do on a daily basis also, right? So in your travels, if somebody's looking for an opportunity or looking for something, or if you come across a company, you said, listen, we can't be partners unless you take 5 to 10% of your jobs and put it towards the formerly incarcerated. If you don't do that, we're going to have a bad situation. So that's real corporate responsibility, where they own and got some skin in the game and helping with what's going on in our cities. It's imperative that all of the major players that you all deal with, they come in before zoning, looking for all the things that they want to make. Donations are fine, even to the NAACP, donations, but you also have to give some opportunities in the community also. So we're not asking for all your jobs. If there's 1,000 jobs, we want 100 jobs set aside. Y'all might even push it up to 20%. I'm asking for 10%, right? But you guys, I mean, the more people, the more we push, right? So the bottom line is that we got to hold people accountable, hold institutions accountable of giving people a fair second chance. And recommend companies to us, represent anyone that you think that could help this campaign to us, and we'll get them in the system. We'll get an MOU agreement with them, meaning a company or corporation or an agency. There might be an agency or young people that are striving to be a part of trying to turn the conditions around in their community, this is a great opportunity for them to volunteer and then maybe even possibly get a job, working to get people into the system. But the bottom line is that there was 6,000 people and it went up to 24,000. So you're talking about 16,000 people that are coming back into the community now. Dan Malloy tried to get it down to 12,000. Governor Lamont's trying to get it down to 8,000. So if you look at the 140,000 people in the city, there's probably half of that that's a part of the workforce, right? So that's 70,000. If you take 60% of that workforce, right? And now you're looking at people that have blemishes on their record, right? And then maybe half of them are employed. So you got maybe about 15 to 17,000 people unemployed with blemishes on their record. And we need to get those 17,000 people to us and figure out a way how to get them marketable for a job. And the more we work on this, getting that 17,000 down to 10,000, getting that 10,000 down to 5,000. Maybe there's no utopia where there's ever a perfect situation, but we want to minimize this as much as possible. But that's how the numbers work out. And I'm gonna have Jim Farnham put a whole map out and then show you where these people are in the city. And then we go out and get them and bring them in.
Okay, so good. So just for me, just to say, in your ask, you're asking individually for members of not just the Black and Hispanic Caucus, but the entire board of Alders to provide, referrals, just like we do.
And not only that, where we should market this and best in your neighborhoods and your community. And you know the people in your community better than anybody.
Right.
Or find the individuals that know all the players in your community, in your neighborhoods, and bring them to us and let us work with them.
And then that bringing to you is through that 1-800 number.
That's
right.
right. Or
And
you,
so,
you
and
can
that's
call
for
me directly,
individuals.
however you want to do it.
That's
You
for
can refer them to the
individuals.
website.
That's individuals who want a job and individuals or companies that want to give a job.
Right. And they may have a niece, a nephew, or a cousin, or somebody that they know that's getting out. You know they need help right out the gate. Let's not let them get in trouble. Send them to us and let's get them the training so they can get a job. Then what we're going to do is dig into the prison and start doing training in the prison. We need you all to put the pressure on these politicians when they come to you around this governor's election. Listen, what are you all doing in reference to giving people a meaningful second chance? And they got to answer to that. What resources are you putting towards it?
Right. Right.
Are you holding companies accountable to hiring people and getting people out of trouble?
Great. Great.
We have a serious problem in New Haven. We have a serious problem in Hartford. It's a reflection of what's going on all across America.
Right.
But we got to dig into it.
And this is the first step.
That's the
You give
first step.
people a job, you make people happy.
Malcolm X and
People
Dr.
work,
King
they
said the
eat,
greatest
they're
social
happy.
program on the earth is a job.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for coming to our meeting, and thank you for doing the pilot here in New Haven. So often people
So
want to.
if I could just say, you said something about the mayor. We're gonna have a luncheon where we'll invite all of the alder people, all the business people, all of the leaders and the stakeholders of the community to go over everything, to have transparency reports, and also get ideas from you all of how we could upgrade this particular initiative also. So we want you all to give us information also. We know that this is not a perfect scenario. We're just starting it, but we also want to enhance it and get it better. So as you're talking to the community outreach workers, as you're talking to the people, let us know and we'll upgrade the system.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. If anyone else has questions, please make sure you raise your hand, your Zoom hand, please. If you know how to do that, I think we do right now. I see Alder Evelyn Rodriguez.
Yes. Hello, President Asdale.
How you doing, sis?
All right. Well, you know that I worked in the Department of Labor for close to 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I also worked with the Regional Workforce Development Board and the Department of Labor. And you know that through Freeman Holloway and a number of our pioneers, often they have said and shared the same things that you're sharing today. And in fact, they committed their lives to training a lot of our individuals, individuals that have been trained and do not have a job. And I just want you to look at these things because I'm always hopeful. Everything we can do is great. You know that there's been a campaign through New Haven Rising, and we have New Haven Works. New Haven Works has received applications from many individuals. And I dare say that if you reach out to them, you should have at least a group of individuals that could immediately start in the process at some point in this process, because many of them may have already been trained in all of the areas that you've talked about. The other thing that I'm concerned about is that Yale did commit to 500 jobs. That's Yale University. Now you're indicating that they're committing 500 jobs a year through
No, that's Yale.
New
No,
Haven
no, 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 no,
Hospital.
no, no, no. Yale New Haven Hospital.
Yale New Haven
This is
Hospital.
not
Yes.
Yale University, right?
Yes.
And
Thank
it's in
you.
that report, right? And I
Okay.
said 500 jobs. That's not a year. That's over some time,
Okay. And
right?
President Esdale,
But they
let's
have
just go there.
they have 500 jobs set aside right now for us.
Okay, let's look at this. You know that electronic engines, people need to be found. So why, if we already have a pool of individuals, what are you going to be using when they have to submit information? You know, where would they submit the information?
On that website that we just showed
Is
you.
that an electronic engine?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a very important thing, because
And they can
who
register
is
over their cell phone.
helping? I'm sorry?
And they can register through their cell phone.
Okay, and who is helping them to submit the information the way it needs to be submitted so that they can be found and considered?
Yes. So we have,
That's
as
where
I stated,
that's where a
we have-
partnership like New Haven Works can be very significant. Are you working with New Haven Works at all?
I'm gonna show you the agencies that we have MOU agreements with now.
No, I saw them. I saw them. So you're saying you have not entered into commitment with New Haven Works?
No, we
yet?
have not. No, not yet.
Okay. Okay. And then lastly.
These are the ones that we have MOU agreements with now.
Okay. And lastly, I've heard, and Yale has utilized many of our podiums to advertise and to market a lot of what they have in other entities. Why don't they say, we're going to take individuals that are interested, that meet this criteria, we're going to give them an incentive, and we're going to help them obtain a job where they are a good match, instead of the same information that we've been marketing, that we've been saying, they get training, and then you know what? They're not considered. They're not a good match, because keep in mind, Yale New Haven Hospital and Yale University have a culture in that environment. So if they're not conducive to that culture and that environment, they went through the training, they went through everything. Are they going to receive any stipends? Are they going to receive any kind of anything to help them while they're going through this whole process? And then if Yale New Haven Hospital doesn't hire them, but they've been committed, are you going to have another outlet for them to become employed? This is where I think we need to look for the carrots here and those hooks, because that's what will make the NAACP's initiative, which is similar, better and worthwhile. Thank you, President.
So you asked several questions. One of the questions you asked about Yale, University. We do not have an MOU agreement with Yale University. I have had a conversation with Alderman Brian Wingate and also Madam Chairman Taisha Walker about adding Yale University to this agreement. Hopefully we will further have this conversation with the president of Yale. I know that there was a job pipeline agreement that they had before, and I didn't want to, get in the middle of that or get in the middle of their negotiations. I wanted to respect what they were doing, and I just wanted to find a lane where I had learned about at Johns Hopkins Hospital, where they had been hiring 10% of all their employees in Baltimore, Maryland. The way that you said that that the ratio of individuals getting hired is a concern. Through the Johns Hopkins Hospital program, they usually get about 40% of their individuals hired. So out of 10 individuals, that means 4 people would get hired. And we're trying to push that number up to about 50% here. If they do not get a job there, we're going to be adding on other businesses. We just signed an MOU agreement with CVS. They got about 500 jobs throughout the state of Connecticut. We're trying to find out how many jobs are actually in the New Haven, Connecticut area. And we will start pointing people in that direction, not in the pharmaceutical side, but in the front part of the CVS. They have pretty much a store, and people could work in that store on the front part of CVS. There are some individuals that could work in the back, but that's pertaining to what they were involved in when they had the blemish on their record. But we want to, as I stated before, we're going to be having a conversation with Howard Cahill and adding on more businesses in the greater New Haven area through the New Haven Chamber of Commerce. So we want to add construction on, we want to add on retail. There's going to be an influx of dollars around this new infrastructure deal that they're doing down on the federal level. We're in conversations with Senator Blumenthal and also Senator Murphy. So hopefully we'll be adding on a lot more construction jobs also within the greater New Haven area. But right now we have a solid deal with Yale New Haven Hospital. And yes, we want to get on with all the major hiring institutions in the area, including Amazon, UPS, Federal Express, and on and on and on. But right now, as I stated, that we're starting with Yale New Haven Hospital because that's the #1 employer in the greater New Haven area. They have 10,000 jobs, and 5% of those jobs would be 500 jobs set aside. I'm not as sure exactly how many jobs there are at Yale University, but we will find out when we go back into those dialogues in the starting of 2022.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Alder Brian Wingate.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Chair Edwards. How you doing tonight, Scott?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for bringing it to the forefront. I'll be more than happy to try to, support a meeting with Yale University.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for all the work that you've done so far. You and Taisha.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I know you guys personally. I should be saying Madam Chair.
Madam President.
Madam President. I'm sorry.
Madam President. I
apologize.
No, I'm Wingate.
Brother Wingate.
Yeah. I know that you have a module on how this works, right? I would be interested in just like, how does that really look when someone comes out of incarceration, from being incarcerated? Like, what is their first point of command? And I know you have this module, but sometimes things just happen differently, right? Like, where do we go first? Where do we go second? Where do we go third? And how do we honestly how do they end up at the hospital per se?
So
right?
It's exactly how I said. You give us a phone call, and we pretty much vet the young brother or young sister or the old elder. Like we've had brothers that came, and sisters that have done 20, and you know some of these individuals yourself, 20, 25 years and just getting out now. From that crack era, they're just getting out from those big drug sweeps that were happening in all of our neighborhoods and communities. When we used to run Elm City Nation back in the day. And these brothers and sisters are getting out now. A lot of them came from the jungle and from the projects on Foot Street and from New Hallville. And right. So they're getting out, and they did 20, 25 years, and they all come out in different levels, right? And we do an assessment. And then once we do the assessment, some of them don't need all this training. As someone had stated before, they've done a ton of training. And if they're that well prepared and the agencies and the NAACP feels comfortable with it and the hospital feels comfortable, we'll get them an interview immediately. We don't want anybody going through 5 and 6, 7 months of training. We want to make this process as most efficient and effective as possible. So individuals that don't need a whole lot of training, there's some people that come out with bachelor's degrees, and some people come out with associate's degrees. So people come at, there's some people that don't have a GED. So we'll get them at New Haven Board of Ed, adult education, and get them the training that they need to get the GED. You cannot get a job at New Haven Hospital unless you have a GED or a high school diploma. So as I stated, they come in, it's no cookie cutter situation. Everyone comes in different. So we do an honest assessment and honest evaluation. We get them the training as soon as possible, and we want them to get hired as soon as possible. But we don't want to put anybody before that that's it's not half, I mean, the cake being half baked philosophy. You don't want to put somebody up there that's not ready. We want to make sure that we're successful, the individual is successful, and we don't want to break people's hearts. So we want to make sure that they go there and they're prepared to win. And we want to do everything that we can to make sure that they're prepared to win when they go for that interview. But if you look at the numbers, if we go back to the numbers, out of the individuals that the report of that first 100 people, if we go back to that, keep going back. No, I got to go down. I'm sorry. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Going. That 100 right there, yeah. 100 individuals, 10 were hired at that particular time, 7 were denied. So let's just say out of that 17, let's just round it off 18 at 9, that would have been 50%, right? Brother Wingate. So
yes, I'm here.
We're batting the people, so people are still getting trained, people are still going through the interview process, but the people that actually went before, we're batting about a little over 40%, close to 50%, maybe even over 50%.
Right.
So we're doing okay. And we'll give you another report at the end of December.
And this is at the hospital?
This is at Yale New Haven Hospital.
Okay.
So once again, if it's at 100 people, then we'll look at the first 1,000 people and evaluate and assess. Do we need to do better training? What are the issues? We'll talk to Yale New Haven Hospital. Why are you denying individuals? We can't go, because of HIPAA laws, we can't go into all the specifics and details, but they can give us generalities in reference to why people are not being hired and what are the issues. But usually the agencies give us the stamp of approval before we put them before the Human Resource Department at Yale New Haven Hospital.
Okay. So, Scott X, brother, what happened to the other 40? Do they go to the other entities that you have commitments with?
So right now, so it would be the seven that didn't get hired here. We're trying to figure out how to work with those 7 getting a job somewhere else.
Okay.
Because they've been denied at the hospital.
Right. But your other entities that you have MOUs with, memorandums of understandings, that they have an opportunity to go to the other slots. If
well, these 33 are in the interview process right now. They haven't made a decision on them, and the other 50 are still in training.
Okay.
You with
I
me?
mean, yeah, listen,
The only thing we could do is reference the 10 or higher, they're good. The 7 individuals, we got to figure out another way for them.
that's right. And that's why you have other entities that's a part of the
So
process.
now we go give them an option at Walmart, an option at a construction company, an option as a truck driver. You know, we'll still work with them to try to find them something else.
Okay, all right. No, this is good stuff.
The hospital might not be for everyone. Maybe over at Yale, you know,
yeah, no,
might be some other places that they can go to.
Yeah, it may be. It may be. We you
Right.
know, I think we all deserve a second and third chance sometime.
Yeah.
To get opportunities. And I'm glad to hear that Yale Hospital has made that commitment, and hopefully the university can buy in at some point.
Well, the university has done some hiring with us too. I remember me and President Taisha Walker Myers. I got it right, Madam President, right? She helped me with several individuals over there, and there were some issues, and she came in and she made it right. And I just want to thank her so much for her commitment to giving people a second chance over there. And hopefully we could have a very powerful initiative over there where we could make an example of what we could do not only here, but across the nation.
Yeah, I you know, I'll be honest with you, brother, if that opportunity comes, we got to pair up with New Haven Works. That's
Man, we're willing to partner with everybody, man. We're trying to help people. That's what I'm saying. All the help we can get. We're not looking to push help away. We're trying to. Whoever you tell me to partner with, that's what we partner with.
Listen, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I keep 100. You know, all the time. That's passion is real. About that whole movement. So, you know, maybe we should have a conversation about that as well. Partner with that particular piece. To have some kind of funnel to reach out to the university.
We'll call the meeting and we'll be there.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Alder Wingate. I'd like to call on our president, Alder Walker Myers, at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I would like to thank Mr. Ezell for coming in and offering up this opportunity. I also wanted to offer being a bridge to New Haven Works for a couple of reasons that I think is really important. One, your programs are similar in certain areas, and they have some experience working with some of these entities already, right? So they'll be able to help you navigate through because, you know, look, Yale University made a commitment to 500 too. We just now getting there. So I
understand the struggle. So
state, you know, this is state.
And I've watched you guys through the struggle, and you guys kept me up to date on the struggle. So
yeah, so statewide would be easier though, I think, because you know it's more different opportunities, different places.
Right.
But I think it'd be important to talk since we're having a pilot here in New Haven, and I think they might have some entities that they can, you know, say, hey, you should partner with this group too, because they went through some of those conversations and some of those things already. So I'll be willing to put it together as well. And I think people definitely deserve second chances because, you know, it's just me. In my opinion, sometimes some people be put away and they're not even supposed to have been there. And once you go, and it just, you know, change your life forever. So I believe people should have second chances to prove that they could enter back into society and be productive. So I'm always willing to help out in initiatives like that. And if I have some people that I think could benefit from this, because I actually know a couple of individuals that are currently incarcerated that are transitioning back into society within the next couple of months, I'm going to send them your way.
Please. So we're looking for at least, if you look at these numbers, right? We're looking for these agencies, and I want to be honest with you, there are some struggles. So if we're going to be totally transparent. If we have, look at these numbers, if we have 10 agencies recommend one person a week, that's 10 people a week into this program, right? If that gives us 40 individuals in a month, right? 40 times 12 is 480, right? Ballpark, we get 2 or 3 agencies, they give a little bit more a week. So it's reasonable with those conservative numbers that we can get 500 people applying for Yale New Haven Hospital a year, right? If we can get 50% of them hired, that's 250 people with good jobs a year, right? And over 10 years, you got 2,500 people. And that's just one person a week for each agency. Those are simple numbers. One person a week through 10 agencies, that's 10 people a week. 10 times 4 is 40. 40 times 12 is 480. It's reasonable to say conservative numbers that we can get 500 people to apply. And then if we could get 50% of them, that's 250 people hired a year. Now, 250 won't get jobs, let's say, then we got to try to find them, get hired somewhere else. But these are very conservative figures. And the numbers say that there's 17,000 people throughout the greater New Haven area that have blemishes and formerly incarcerated that are in New Haven right now that are not employed. That's what the numbers say, out of the 140,000 people that you have in the city. So it's not a a magic wand or a silver bullet, but this is something that could definitely help with the city. And then we add on other companies and corporations, and this gets bigger. But that's just with the hospital, your number one employer. And they should hire people. They should put 5 to 10% aside for formerly incarcerated individuals. All right, so we're ready to get to work. And we're going to start giving you guys calls, and the rubber's now going to hit the road, and we're going to start this campaign. And we want to work with you all to create solutions. And if we're doing something wrong, give us a call, and we'll get right on it. Something that we're missing, or some advice you can give us, please pull our coat and let us know.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Do you have time to take one more question from a person that
I
has
got
not
all the
asked a
time in the
question?
world. This
Okay,
is what
I would
do.
like, we'll make it quick. I'd like to call on Alder Carmen Rodriguez, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Isdale, thank you so much for the presentation. I believe I heard you say that you possibly would be going into the jails.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Department
good,
of
good.
Corrections,
So,
yeah. Well, our
That's
ultimate goal is
fantastic.
to go into the prisons and do the training. So when they walk right out the door, they're already trained and ready to go.
That's fantastic. I knew I had heard that, but I just wanted to hear it just to make sure, because, my next, I was going to dive into, it would be great because we have a new reentry program that it would be a win-win if they would assist you because of folks are ending up on their doorstep. So when I heard you say that, the second piece would be the reentry. And also, are you getting assistance from the probation department to have folks, find their way to you? Because probation on if it's State Street or whatever, there's a laundry list of folks that are having to go through there.
Yes, we're working with probation, parole, and the court system. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering all those questions. And I look forward to engaging with you as well to try to get as many as our folks to get, again, like my colleague Alder Wingate said, first, second, third, fourth chances. So I appreciate your energy and coming out. And the sign is out over in the hill in my way. So thank you so much for that.
So my boys and girls are working, right? So thank you. We got
Yes,
young
sir.
people from
Thank
the
you so
community
much.
putting signs up. we're working with Ice the Beef, the crew from Ice the Beef in Connecticut against violence. We're working with Jihad and his crew, and we're just trying to get as many people active and involved in helping out and putting signs up and lawn signs up. If you know where we need to be putting lawn signs up, give us a call and we'll get over there and put them up.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you once again, Mr. Esdell. We appreciate you coming.
Thank you,
and we
Alder
will,
Edwards. Thank you.
we
Thank
will
you.
be in touch.
I love this. I love seeing all you in these positions. You know, it's a lot of you all I
Thank you.
came up with, and it's really exciting to see you guys in these positions.
Thank you. And we will, like I said, we will definitely be in touch with you. We got your number, all of them.
All right.
Absolutely.
If you need me, just call me. All right.
No
Love y'all.
problem.
Thanks,
Take
brother.
care.
Have a great day.
Thanks, brother.
Bye-bye.
Peace, peace.
Thank you all. So we have a couple other things we just need to touch on before we go tonight. Inauguration time. Are you all ready for inauguration time? I hope so. I see smiles now. So most of us are going to be at the inauguration. It's going to be January 1st at noon. So be there or be square. You will get more formal information, you know, and follow-up information as to what time you need to arrive, business as usual. And more information to come on that. Alder Wingate, did you have a question about that or comment?
Yes, I do
Raise your
have a
hand up.
question. No, I do have a question. I just raised my hand. Madam Chair, in reference to the inauguration day, it's scaled down a little bit, right? It's you can't have as many normally I bring at least 15 to 20 people. No, I'm just joking. It's been scaled down to how many people can you honestly have come to City Hall? 10?
I'd like to call
Sorry,
on the
Evelyn.
president because it's going to be a more intimate affair. You are going to get more formal information with your
Right,
head
right.
count. If it were me,
Okay.
I would say only you. However, I am not on the committee. So therefore, I would like to, President Alder Walker Myers, please take over on this, please.
Yes, so every alder will be allowed 5 guests. They have to be vaccinated. They're going to have to provide their vaccination information. If they're not vaccinated, they would have to provide a negative COVID test. But we'll be sending out more information in regards to that later on this week.
Thank you so much. I think
I would like to call on our president pro tem, Alder Jeanette Morris.
you was frozen.
Oh,
I was muted.
no, did I hear you right that the inauguration is at City Hall?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I never heard where it's going to be. Oh,
Yes.
All right then. Thank you.
No problem. And you're gonna, like I said, you are gonna get more formal and nailed down information as well. Alder Wingate. No, you change your mind? That's from
No,
before?
Madam Chair. No, I was saying 5.
Oh, 5 people? Okay. Anyone else want to touch on inauguration? Or are we gonna wait till we get our information? Thank you. Okay, so now let's move on to our next subject, which I just let it close. Okay, we're gonna talk about our next meeting date. I can't read fully. Biennial meeting will be January 11th. Yes, 2021. That is on our agenda, so please write that down. January 11th, 2021.
2022.
2022. Thank you, Alder Douglas. Ooh, I'm bad. I'm going back in time. I'm stuck. So 2022. Thank you for that correction and clarification. And that is the end of our agenda for tonight. That is the end of our agenda. Alder Jeanette Morrison.
Yes, so I just wanted to be clear, a couple of things. We will have our financial report definitely for January, which will speak to everything that happened over the last 2 years, basically, which is not much. But I just wanted to bring to the table, do we plan on, do we vote on whether or not we're gonna start to give money out again, starting January 1, basically, which will allow us to help with the Three Kings Day, which will help us to do what we need to do with the Three Kings Day, and any other donation requests that come in. And if so, also at the same time, because we took the same vote, with that, then we start with our dues again for 2022. So that's the question. I didn't make a motion yet.
Yeah. So I have I can speak to that. As far as dues, we spoke about dues because we are going to collect dues. We were waiting for the dues list because we were going to try to get some of our back pay as well for dues, which is another discussion as well. And we did say once we started meeting again in person at the Alders, as Alders, period, that we would start doing dues again then. But, we had a lot of stuff going on and we did not enforce it yet. So that is a discussion we definitely need to have. Personally, as far as giving out money, although I love the Three Kings and everything, I'm one person, but I did want to kind of see financials and go over financials before I cast my vote for opening back up for all money activities. And I know we typically don't just say we're going to give to this one and not that one, but I would rather personally see financials to know what we actually are working with. And also a thought maybe is to get in touch with the other, the things about Three Kings to make sure they are going to hold them and look at the dates too, and then maybe vote on it. But that's just, I'm one person, like I said, and the floor is open for more people. Anyone else want to make a comment or?
Well, I was saying in regards to the financials, my hope and expectation is to have that for the January meeting, but that's January 11th. And so with that being the case, if the groups do plan on having Three Kings Day at the beginning of January, then if going by what you just said, Alder Edwards, we would not be able to donate, because if people want to see the financials, then you won't see them for another couple of weeks after the event. The other thing in regards to the dues, I just wanted, the dues is something, two pieces, I would say. When and if we do decide to start collecting dues, we need to focus on 2022. As far as any back dues that are owed, those are individualized conversations that have to happen, which has nothing to do with the group, right? So I have a receipt book, which the receipt book will start January 2022. And that would be the blanket in which we would start off. In regards to all the back dues, we'll have those conversations. I mean, we've been having these conversations for 10 years. I think it's just, some people just ain't gonna pay. That's just where we are. But in this role as treasurer, Once again, I'll have these conversations. I'll have the chair have the conversation, all the whole nine. But in regards to mixing that with 2022, that's going to be too messy.
Well, no, that my intent was not to mix them up, but as a committee and as the leaders on the committee, we did have those conversations, which we'll get into later. We can sidebar that, and I'll let people ask questions, because those are indeed individual conversations, but they are conversations I think need to be had, because of the fact that we did earlier this year say we were going to talk about that and we were going to contact those people, but because of everything that was going on, we kept pushing it off. So thank you, Alder Morrison. I'd like to call on Alder Carmen Rodriguez, and then I'll call on President Walker Myers next.
Just really quickly in regards to the celebrations, in my personal opinion, I think, getting a tally and knowing what's in the kitty before handing things out, I believe is important, because we didn't have last year's, the previous gala due to the beginning of the pandemic. And then my second question is, there are rules and regulations in all the committees. And so I believe, and you can all correct me if I'm wrong, that part of our responsibility is also ensuring that we provide our dues. So, that's just, again, something that, Madam Chair, you can let me know if, there are rules and regulations that include the dues and what we have to do as committee members.
Thank you, Alder Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'd like to call on President Walker Myers, then Alder Brian Wingate is up next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not to further complicate things, but I think we're talking about a couple of different things, because we know about the issue about people with back dues that go back. But I thought we were specifically talking about, we said once and we voted, once we come back in person, which was August, that people will start paying dues then. So it seems to me that'd be from August to December would be one set of dues that need to be talked about if people weren't doing that. And then 2022 starts a whole nother set of dues. And then another conversation about people that got, I don't know, back dues from whenever they have them from. So I just wanted clarity on that, because I remember being in a meeting where we voted that once we come back in person, that we were going to start paying dues again, and we left it at that. So I assumed that once we came back in August, we started paying dues again. I don't know. Since we had that conversation, I thought that that's what we were doing.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have notes, and that was a vote we had cast. I don't know. When we were shifting our chairs and doing everything else, people just didn't pick back up on it, but that was one of the votes, and I do have it in my notes as well. So you are correct in stating that. Alder Brian Wingate, and then I'll have Alder Morrison.
Yeah, no, you're right, Madam President. You said when we came back in person, we had to pick up the dues from that point. I think that we should look at the financials before we start giving out money to anybody. I think it's not a long drawn out thing to do. In reference to the back dues, there's a process in place. If you're not up on your dues, you can't vote, right? So I think there's a process in place about that. And also from August, we're supposed to take up our dues from August 2022. We take a look at what we're supposed to be doing for its financials, and then start giving money out. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Alder Wingate. I'd like to call on President Pro Tem Alder Jeanette Morrison.
So to look at, so it's semantics, right? When we took that vote in regards to when we come back, that vote, I thought that vote was based on when we come back as the Black and Hispanic Caucus. The only group that has come back in full person is the full board. So when we took that vote, we never were specific to say that it was based on whether the full board came back versus the Black and Hispanic Caucus. We're still on Zoom right now. And so since we're still on Zoom, this particular committee is still not back in person. And so that's why I brought up the topic to say that, you know, do we want to look at starting off dues for January, even though we're not really back in person as far as the Black and Hispanic Caucus is concerned. So, you know, when that vote was taken, it was never, and maybe, you know, this is all new, right? The Zoom thing and all of that. We never looked at it that it was going to be different, because the only group that does come back is the full board. All the other committees are still doing their meetings via Zoom. Therefore, this group is not back. So that's one. In regards to the back dues, to follow up on what Alder Ryan Wingate said, there's a process in regards to if people aren't paid up, they can't vote. But then we might need to look at that ruling, because some people may just say later for it, I ain't never gonna vote, and just never pay their money. And that's not the goal here. The goal here is to get you to pay your money, and hopefully by having the ability or lack thereof, voting will motivate a person to pay their money, but not to just sit in it like, okay, I don't pay, I'm just not voting, and that's just my lifestyle. So we need to look at that, because the reality is, as a committee, we all committed and voted to say that we were going to pay $10 a month for dues in order to have, you know, this kitty to be able to do, like I call it, the Sunshine Club type things. We've had a lot of passings. We had a whole lot of different things happen where we've taken that money out of that kitty. And that's where that money truly comes from. Because if every member on this board paid their $120 a year, we would take in over $2,000 a year for Sunshine Club type things that we do. So I just wanted to put those two things out, that we definitely have to define coming back, and we definitely need to look at what does that mean when a person doesn't pay and they don't vote. What is that next step? So thank you, Madam Chair.
No problem. Thank you, Alder Morrison. Alder Walker Myers, did you want to speak? I saw your hand up and then your camera went off.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna look back at my my notes from that meeting, because I specifically remember us saying when we're back in chambers, it's really no biggie to me. I paid anyway. So it doesn't matter to me. I just want to make sure we're doing what we voted, what we're doing actually what we voted on.
No problem. I'm gonna look at my notes too, but because my recollection was when we were back in chambers as well, not the Black and Hispanic Caucus back in chambers. You know, when I interpreted it and when I wrote it down. I got 12 notebooks, so I got to pull that other one back out. Thank you. And as Alder Morrison said, I do agree. We're just gonna have to fix this dues thing, period. It's not gonna be anything we fix tonight and put a lot of effort into, because it's been spoken on and spoken on and spoken on. We're gonna fix it. We'll come together collectively and fix it finally. Alder Evelyn Rodriguez, did you have something to say? Did you want to speak?
Yes, there's a lot of discussion in reference to the dues. I'm supportive. I think that the work that we do through the Black and Hispanic Caucus touches the hearts And we had a beautiful gala, and the people came. So you can tell the people have embraced this wonderful effort that we do, additionally to everything else we do, right, as alders. But in reference to the Three Kings Day, I'd really like for us to consider opening the opportunity to at least give Casa Otoñal the donation. They already have the program. Last year they did it, and last year they visited some homes. And keep in mind that event is specifically driven for the children. So it's I think it'll be worthwhile, at least. If not Star of Jacob, I understand. Let's consider Casa Otoñal, because they've already sent the notices out. So if they don't do one thing, they're definitely going to do something. It is my belief that they are going to do something. And if they don't, that's okay. But at least we have the consent today to give to the treasurer the opportunity to at least make a donation to them, if not at least half the donation, if we can't give them the whole. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Alder Frank Douglas.
Thank you, Madam Chair, colleagues. I kind of concur with my colleague, Ms. Alder Rodriguez. I mean, it's just a small chip off the iceberg that we donate. I mean, that has been set in stone. They do this every year, and the time is pressing. The end of the year is coming, and the event will be taking place soon. I don't see a problem with us voting on it to make that donation today, if possible. If anybody else agrees. It's a new year. Thank you, Madam President. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Alder Douglas. Anyone else want to ask a question or have a comment at this time? No one?
Can I make a motion then? Can I make a motion to pass that and give them their donation?
Let me ask this, and somebody senior call me out on this if I'm wrong, please. So my question would be, you want to make a motion? One sec. I just want to put it out there. If you all were in agreement to, at this point, give a donation, then what happens the next time we want to do a donation? Do we want to first see if this is our Alder event that we're actually going to sponsor for Three Kings Day? Because in my head, then, if this is the event that we're signing on to as a Black and Hispanic caucus for, if we are truly doing that, doesn't that make a difference, or does it not? And to be honest, even if it's not a full report, I just thought we would have numbers before we gave any money out, period. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong, or if I'm out of line or whatever.
You can
I
cut
just
it
made a
up
motion.
whatever way you want. You
I
can
just made a
cut it up
motion.
whatever way you want to, Alder Edwards. I mean, this is the reality. The reality is, across the board, we said that we weren't giving out any monies, right? Regardless of who it was, outside of the funeral donations that we give to alders. That's what we said. Every project, everything that is done or put forward to this group is very important. Very important. It affects children, it affects seniors, it affects everyone. But if we have a rule right now to say, and I'm not even going to stay blaming on the fact that there's no numbers here, because I wasn't around to be able to do them. But, even though we don't have any numbers, I mean, the reality is we made that decision not to. So there's two things on the table. One, the one thing that's on the table is do we need to vote to say that we're going to open it back up? Because we can't cherry pick. We can't say we're going to give it to this group, but no, we're not going to give it to that group. But this group is real important because that's over in my ward. But you see what I mean? And
Exactly.
so either we're going to do it, or we're not. Because I can't sit here to say that I'm going to get you those numbers before January 1, because I'm not. Because I need to go, because the reporting that needs to be done is really a 2-year report. And
Thank you,
so
Alderperson.
it's going to take time. And I'm working a lot.
I just wanted clarification. I just wanted to make sure my head was in the right space, which is why I was just trying to make sure it wasn't different if it was something we were. Okay. Thank you very much.
And the other piece is before Alder Douglas could make a vote for that, we first would need to vote to reopen the giving. So that's really how that works. He can't, outside of all of this, say, I want to
Make a motion to do this
for this, because we've already said no to everything. So I just wanted to say that. And no disrespect to anyone, just in looking at process.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure my head was in the right space, or if it wasn't, let me get it together. That is it. Anybody else? Alder Evelyn Rodriguez?
And no disrespect
Yeah,
to
Alder Wingate.
anyone. And no disrespect to anyone. Treasurer reports are treasurer reports. So there's money that we can use. And this is the moment in time to be able to help this initiative that we pretty much helped all along. And that it is an event that will be helped a great deal if we give them the stipend that we give them. So I'm asking that if necessary, then let's make the motion to reopen for that opportunity, and whoever else may show up in January, maybe not the entire amount, but at least an amount. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alder Rodriguez. I would like to call on Alder Wingate, then our president, Alder Walker Myers, please.
Thank you.
Well, I can yield to Madam President. I yield to Madam President.
You're up, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to make a suggestion, because we can take votes through, we can take votes through email. The 3 Kings Day celebration is in January. Our actual chair is not even here. He'll be back. Maybe we should let the chair weigh in about all of this stuff, because I feel like we have time, because it takes 5 seconds to send out an email, and whoever respond back, majority rule. We've done that in a number of different spaces. The treasurer said she won't have the whole report before the time. Our deputy majority leader said that we have some money set aside somewhere that we can use. But I think we should actually wait hold up just a little second till the chair get back, right? Because it is true that we voted not to give out any money at all. So it is true that we would have to take a vote on just giving out the money. And then once we do that, go forward. And I just think that it makes a little bit more sense to wait till the chair get back, so he can have some weigh in on this conversation as well, or on us actually giving out the money.
Madam Chair, I concur with that. Yes.
Thank you. Alder Wingate, I'll go back to you.
I was going to say the same thing, but Madam President said it.
Mhm.
Alder Douglas, did you want to say something? Sorry.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Alder Crespo?
Thank you, Madam President. Madam Chair, rather. Taking in everybody's consideration, I make a motion that we take the time to listen to the report later on, and then because we have some time left to make the decision to whether vote via email later in January, early January, so that we can have a thorough understanding of how much money we have on file and then how much we're going to give to Casa Otoñal.
Thank you, Alder Crespo. And Alder Morrison?
I'm not gonna have the report ready before the January meeting, because I'm working. I work 7 days a week, every week. And I only get once in a while, Saturday off or something. And it really takes a lot of time to sit and do those reports. So I'm not gonna have it. Now, if Al or somebody else will do it, then, but I know I'm working.
You'd like to pull the stuff in inside.
Just as a point of order, Madam Chair, did Alder Crespo make a motion?
Yes.
You
Okay.
did, and I jumped over
Yeah,
him.
he said I make a motion, so that needs to be seconded, and then we can end this conversation.
I'm sorry, Alder Crespo. Can you restate
Yep.
your motion, please, for me?
Of course. My motion is, I move that we vote on this item later in January via email. Once we have a better understanding of the finances, and then determine what exactly we're going to pay, if any, to Casa Otoñal.
Okay. Alder Wingate.
Can I add to his motion?
It first needs to be seconded.
Okay.
Second.
Motion has been seconded.
And I would entertain any friendly amendments, Madam Chair.
I was going to add to any entities that is open to receive financials and support. That should be to anybody. It shouldn't just be for one entity. It should be open to all.
Mhm.
Do you-
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, you may.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment, or amend my motion rather to
Okay.
incorporate exactly what my colleague Alder Wingate stated, to wait until January for any release of any funds to any organization once we have a better understanding of our finances, given that we have the opportunity to vote via email.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Point of clarification, Madam Chair. Okay.
Alder Rodriguez?
Yes, Alder Crespo. The Three Kings Day is what day exactly for Casa Otoñal? And as our pro temp Alder Morrison indicated, she will not have that report ready until when, Alder Morrison? Pro temp?
Next meeting, January 11th.
Until January 11th, Alder Crespo.
Madam Chair, through you, the Three Kings Day is January 8th. And I do see the point where where Alder Rodriguez is stating, maybe we do not have the report, but just an idea, a sense of where actually we are. Doesn't really have to be an official report, but at least we have anything to provide.
I cannot promise that because I work 7 days a week. Maybe Al can do that, but I don't have the time. I work. I mean, the reality is we're asking to give a donation of $300, right? We all know we got $300. We know we got that. I mean, it's not like we're asking to give a $10,000 grant to something. They're asking for $300 towards their event. And so we know we have that. We know we sold over $300 worth of tickets at the gala. So we got it. It's just the visual that different ones need to see where the money fits. We don't have any bills. All our bills have been paid. I mean, the reality is we have the money. And so there has to be a vote. You know, there are people who feel very strongly that we shouldn't open it up until they see financials. And there are people who feel very strongly that they don't care because we know we got $300. So that's where this sits. But I'm not going to put myself commit myself to anything that's going to get in my way of me making my money to take care of me and my family. And so I will figure out my life to make sure that report is here for the next Black and Hispanic Caucus meeting, but I cannot say that it will be done the day before that.
Madam Chair, just a point of clarity. I don't think that the event or the event that is the sponsors of the event are asking for any donation. Early in the conversation, we did ask about what was going to be done for Three Kings Day. I just put it out there. There's already an event happening with Casa Otoñal. I do understand that Alder Rodriguez would like to provide them with with any particular amount, but I don't think it's something that is necessary that they're asking for. It's just simply, if we have anything, we can provide that. But it's not that they're asking. We're not getting a request from them. It was just collaborating as a Black and Hispanic Caucus as a unit. Do we want to collaborate? Do we want to sponsor? And if we do, exactly what do we want to do to sponsor? What do we want to give? Do we want to give financials, or do we want to give toys, whatever, what have you? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alder Crespo. I'd like to call on Alder Carmen Rodriguez.
Madam Chair, just for clarification, I do believe that I heard President Walker Myers state that we should wait on our chair, Santiago, and then move forward on that. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, with all due respect to everyone, I think that was said early on, and I would say let's wait on the chair who unfortunately had a family emergency because it was put on the table. Well, it was said earlier.
Okay, there's still a motion on the table. So unless the maker of the motion takes it off the table.
A point of clarity, I don't think the motion is going to affect the chair's absence because it is actually being considered because the chair is not present. Let's vote at a later date. There's no specific date. It's any date in January or any time in the future to allow for us to vote as a unit with the chair, with all who are present and those who want to participate.
And Madam Chair, I just want to also share that at least it will be a way of us, the Black and Hispanic Caucus, participating as we have done in the past. And also a number of us alders have attended the event. And this is in Alder Ron Hertz ward, Casa Otoñal.
Thank you, Alder Rodriguez. Okay, so Alder Crespo, your motion is still on the floor, or did you rescind your motion?
No, the motion's on the floor, and it was seconded by my colleague Alder Wingate.
Okay, so any more discussion on the motion? Does everyone remember what the motion was at this point?
You may want to repeat it one more time.
Yes, repeat your motion, Alder Crespo.
Yes, ma'am. So the motion was to vote at a later time, once we have a better sense of the financials, for, if anything, any monetary or anything that we want to provide to Casa Otoñal for the Three Kings event, or any organization that is needing any donations. And we're going to be able to do so in the future with a vote via email.
Any discussion on this motion, or so we can wrap this up? Alder Singh?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I'm hearing right, now, this is a two process. We have to make a motion and vote to reopen the process to, to donate money. And once that motion is passed, then we make a motion to donate funds. That's my understanding I'm hearing. Someone may correct me, one of my colleagues may correct me. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alder Singh. Any other discussion? Questions, comments?
So my question to you, Alder Edwards, is just a follow-up on Alder Singh's question, because there is a motion on the floor. We are having the discussion on the motion. And the motion is to basically secure the ability to make a vote on this money to Casa Señal, right? And so, but again, it goes back to what Alder Singh just said. Do we have to make a motion to open up the donations? But the other way to look at this is, as Alder Crespo said, if we are partnering, there's a difference between partnering and donation. Partnering, this is what we're bringing to the table as the partners. We could bring canned goods, we could bring toys, we could bring money. That's our piece of the pie. So, and even though it's semantics, even though it's a donation, it really is our part in making this actual event happen. So it's kind of different than someone coming to us asking us to provide them with a donation to help them with the prom dresses or something like that. We're not partnering with getting the prom dresses. This is different.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. So, excuse me. Anyone else?
So now we will call the vote, right?
I want to make sure for clarity. I'm not a professional at this yet. Are we voting? Do we have to vote to open voting back up? Which is what we stated we would wait until the chair comes back. Some of us suggested.
And what has been said to me that I heard is the motion that's on the floor is a partnership with Casa Señal in regards to Three Kings Day. As a part of our agenda, we always celebrate all the different heritages. And this is our way of celebrating this heritage. Our partnership is over in Alder Ron Hertz Ward. And so I see that as totally different than someone coming in asking for a donation to replace a stolen TV out of the community room, right? So that's the way that I'm seeing this, because if that's the case, then the alder is just asking, can we take this vote to vote later on this partnership? And we want to make sure that the chair is okay with us partnering with this entity to celebrate Three Kings Day.
Was it seconded?
Madam Chair.
Seconded? Because I'm all over the place with this one. Go ahead. Alder Crespo.
I'm gonna make I like to make a friendly amendment to the amendment that was to the motion. I move that we joining partnership with collaboration with Casa Otoñal to provide anything that we can. Is it canned goods? Is it toys? Is it monetary? And to wait until a later vote via email to determine what exactly that will be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's confusing to everyone.
I second that friendly amendment.
So now it definitely goes hand in hand with.
You're muted.
No, go ahead, Madam Chair.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this properly. I'm a little special. You're not voting to get monetary funds and to open this up for monetary funds. You're just opening it up for a partnership, or as we do for all our other events, correct? Where we decide
Yes.
we're gonna do this for Black and Hispanic Caucus, for
Yes.
Juneteenth and that.
Yes.
Kwanzaa, whatever. Okay. And I apologize to you all for my misunderstanding.
No need.
Initially.
No need. It is confusing. It is confusing. The motions have changed and they have developed into now what it is, just a collaboration partnership.
Okay.
And
all right.
I just want to be clear, Alder Edwards, monetary might be what is decided, because you did say in your playback that you're not asking for money. It might be voted that we do give the money, or it could be toys, or it could be canned goods, or what have you. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yes.
Okay. So was it seconded? Was your friendly motion? I didn't hear a second on it, did I? Or did Alder Evelyn Rodriguez second it?
I seconded, yes.
Okay. All right, so the motion on the table and it has been seconded. Do we want to take a vote on it? No more, any more discussion?
Call the vote.
All right, let's call this vote. All in favor?
Don't
you
have to call every name?
I can do it that way.
You didn't ask a roll call, but
I didn't. And you want to do a roll call? Let's do this.
Okay.
That's how y'all want to do it? All right. All right, I'm gonna start with Alder Wingate.
Yes.
Alder Morrison.
Yes.
Alder Ortiz.
Yes.
Alder Douglas.
Yes.
Alder Singh.
Yes.
Alder Evelyn Rodriguez.
Yes.
Alder Crespo.
aye.
Alder Carmen Rodriguez.
Yes.
Alder Richard Furlow. All right. So it looks like the ayes have it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
I have something else on my agenda. No, I'm kidding.
You.
We all good? Everybody okay with their votes? We already handled that part. A motion has been made to adjourn and it has been seconded. And I thank you all for coming out tonight. And
Thank you for our meeting, well run.
I'm a little confused tonight. But it's okay. That's why I have all of you. Thank you all.
Good night, colleagues.
Be
Good
good.
night.
I'm
Good
going to
night.
get reprimanded now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.